The German commander's orders were crystal clear. Find every Jew on the island of Zakynthos, get their names, get their addresses, 24 hours. It was September 1943. The Nazis had just taken control of this small Greek island after Italy surrendered to the Allies. The final solution was in full swing across occupied Europe. Jewish communities were being wiped off the map. 80%, 90%, sometimes 100% murdered. Metropolitan Chrysostomos, the island's senior Orthodox bishop, stared at the Nazi demand. Next to him sat Mayor Lucas Carrer. Both men knew exactly what this list meant. It wasn't for a census. It was a death warrant for 2075 of their neighbors. They had two choices: hand over the names and watch families who'd lived on Zakynthos for generations get loaded onto cattle cars, or refuse and face a firing squad. The two men looked at each other. Then they did something that still takes your breath away. They walked into German headquarters together. The commander was waiting, hand extended for the list that would make his job so much easier. Chrysostomos placed a single piece of paper in the Nazi's palm. On it were written exactly two names, Chrysostomos and Lucas Carrer. The message couldn't have been clear. If you wanna deport Jews from our island, you'll have to start with us. The German commander's face must have been something to see. This wasn't how things usually went. Local authorities were supposed to cooperate. They were supposed to be grateful for the chance to save their own skins by sacrificing their Jewish neighbors. But Chrysostomos wasn't done. He sent word racing across the island that night. Every church bell, every fishing boat, every mountain village! Hide the Jews. All of them now. What happened next was absolutely extraordinary. 7,000 Greek Christians on Zakynthos made a choice. Every single one of them, fishermen, farmers, shopkeepers, teachers, grandmothers, teenagers, they all decided the same thing. Their Jewish neighbors weren't going anywhere. Families started disappearing from their homes in the town, not because they were being rounded up, but because their Christian neighbors were smuggling them into the mountains, into remote villages, into spare bedrooms and root cellars and fishing huts. Maria, a Christian mother of 3, knocked on her Jewish neighbor's door at midnight. "Pack light," she whispered. "You're coming to stay with my sister in the hills." Dmitri, an old fisherman, loaded a Jewish family onto his boat and rowed them to a hidden cove where his cousin had a cottage. Anna, barely 16, guided Jewish children through goat paths in the dark, teaching them which houses would shelter them. This wasn't a few brave souls taking risks. This was an entire island, 7,000 people, creating a conspiracy of protections. The risk was insane. Nazi policy was brutal and clear. Hide Jews, and your whole family dies. Sometimes your whole village. The Germans had burned entire communities to the ground for less. But Zakynthos had decided these Jews weren't outsiders. They were islanders, they were neighbors, they were family. The German patrols searched and searched. They found empty houses, abandoned shops, no lists from the bishop, no cooperation from the mayor, no informants among the population. The entire Jewish community of Zakynthos had suddenly vanished. For over a year, 2075 Jews lived hidden across the island. Christian families shared their already scarce fortune food. They provided false papers when they could. They taught Jewish children to speak with the local accents. They kept a secret that could have gotten them all killed. 7,000 people, one massive secret for more than a year. September 1944, Allied forces swept across Greece. The German occupation crumbled. The Nazi soldiers packed up and fled. And then, like ghosts returning to light, the Jews of Zakynthos emerged from their hiding places. Every single one. Oh, 2075 Jews had survived. Not 200, not 150, not even 2074. All of them, the entire community walked out of the mountains and the hidden cottages and the secret rooms alive. In most of Nazi-occupied Europe, Jewish communities were obliterated. But on this little Greek island, 100% survived because 100% of their neighbors decided to protect them. Years later, when the world learned what Zakynthos had done, people could hardly believe it. An entire island keeping a secret that big. 7,000 people refusing to betray a single neighbor. Years later, planted a forest called the Zakynthos Forest to honor the island Yad Vashem, recognize the bishop and mayor as righteous among the nations. But really, they should have recognized all 7,000 residents. Chrysostomos and Kara proved something powerful that day. They handed over their own names. When faced with impossible choices, sometimes the right answer isn't choosing between bad options. Sometimes the right answer is refusing to play along with evil at all.
But the real heroes were the thousands of ordinary people who opened their doors and shared their food and kept their mouths shut. Who decided that being neighbors meant something, that community meant something. Those 2075 Jews lived to have children and grandchildren. They lived to build new lives and tell their story. They lived because an island full of people decided that some things matter more than safety. The next time someone tells you that regular people can't change anything, remember Zakynthos. Remember what happens when everyone decides to do the right thing at the same time. Sometimes changing the world is as simple as saying no to evil and yes to your neighbors. Sometimes saving everyone starts with two brave leaders and spreads to become everyone's choice. Baruch Hashem. Thousands of ordinary people who opened their doors and shared their food and kept their mouths shut. Who decided that being neighbors meant something, that community meant something. Those 2075 Jews lived to have children and grandchildren. They lived to build new lives and tell their story. 'cause an island full of people decided that some things matter more than safety. The next time someone tells you that regular people can't change anything, remember Zakynthos. Remember what happens when everyone decides to do the right thing at the same time. Sometimes changing the world is as simple as saying no to evil and yes to your neighbors. Sometimes saving everyone starts with two brave leaders and spreads to become everyone's choice. Baruch Hashem. La 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 la.